So I kind of... Whoa! Now I look cool.
The Black Knight 2000 Review and Guide.
Hello, I am the many-talented Mr. Jefferson, and I have mentioned a particular pinball table numerous times during my journey with Pinball FX. First, it was just a vague recollection of a table so brutally difficult it put me off pinball entirely. And that table sat next to another much more memorable table because it was basically just a giant naked metal woman. And all I really remembered about the first table was that it had really cool music and it taunted the player. And that sent me on a search through pinball tables year by year because I remembered I was about 10 when I played the table. So that narrowed the field quite a bit, and eventually I recognized the lightning ring, and the source of my frustrations 35 years ago was revealed to me, and yet more frustrations abounded as I found a recreation of the table was available on Pinball Arcade with a huge honkin' emphasis on was. Because the game that made me fall in love with pinball all over again had acquired the rights to the Williams tables, so the Black Knight 2000 table remained beyond my reach. I mean, there's always visual pinball, but I didn't really know about it back then, and I'm still kind of trying to figure out how to download the tables and the drivers and all that shit. But the point is that I was not yet able to face my mortal foe, but perhaps this drawback would yet play out in my favor because it gave me something I desperately needed. Time. I had never planned on making pinball tutorials when I started the first one. It was more for my own benefit, and it was this research that helped me to understand how to play pinball, to understand table design and flow. But understanding isn't enough. I lacked the raw skill to achieve the goals of the tables I was playing. But these guides and videos would yield an unexpected result. They attracted a wandering warrior, a silver samurai, who possessed the skills and knowledge I yet lacked, and they were watching as I trained, gave me advice, and taught me techniques that turned the flippers from the crude cudgels bludgeoning metal balls to a pair of finely honed swords to be wielded with surgical precision that are fully capable of stopping a ball in motion dead in its tracks. The knowledge of when to flip and when not flipping is a wiser option, and he finally gave me something I did not really possess myself. Confidence that I could achieve wizard modes, to which I protested until something unexpected happened. I started seeing wizard modes, and soon after that I started defeating wizard modes, and then I started seeking out table awards, hunting them down one by one, and taking their trophies to display upon my shelf. A testament to my victories, and yet my childhood tormentor was still beyond my reach. But then a clue revealed itself in the form of 3 new mysterious tables to be unveiled in time. The only initial revelations being the years in which each table was made. And then, right there, was that chance that I would face my old foe once more. Because 2 of those tables were made in 1989, the very same year as the Black Knight 2000, and I held out hope as each table was announced. Earthshaker, was announced first, taking up one of those 1989 slots. And then the second table was unveiled. It was Banzai Run, made in 1988, leaving out hope that out of the handful of possibilities, but I was sure the final table to be unveiled would be the Black Knight 2000 because of its striking artwork, amazing music, and the rules of show business dictate that you end on a showstopper, and that showstopper table is the Black Knight 2000, which is exactly the table they announced.
Vengeance finally will be at hand. I have the power. I have the might. I am ready for battle. It is time to be the Black Knight.
My experiences with the Black Knight extend beyond the pinball game. There is another Knight of the Black Rose from the Dragonlance series who was given the powers to save the world but was deceived into abandoning his holy charge, and instead returned to his castle where he burned to death, and the god's final act was to damn him to live a lifetime for every life lost by his actions when he abandoned his charge. And then the gods abandoned the world. This Death Knight was unique. Even among Death Knights in Dungeons & Dragons, he was eventually pulled into the mists to become a lord of his own hellish kingdom in the horror realm of Ravenloft, and he also bears the singular distinction of being the only entity to have ever escaped back to his home realm, because the world of Ravenloft, which exists for the one and only singular purpose of torturing the most powerful and evil of damned souls that have ever existed, completely failed to even faze Lord Soth, who sat upon his throne unmoving and ignoring the terrors all around him, only to be drawn out of his malaise and returned home to the Dragonlance world of Kryn, where he could finally remember the failures that resulted in his suffering and the damnation he brought upon himself, until finally one day he just refused his dark goddess's will, and the ancient armor, blackened by fires long extinguished, fell to the floor, his curse broken and his soul finally moving on. The Black Knight 2000 table doesn't have any real depth of storytelling. This character from Dragonlance adds nuance for me personally that isn't actually present on the table, but this isn't a table that really needs any backstory or even gimmicks. I mean, it has a Magna save, but hell if I've ever successfully used it to save the ball. The table doesn't even quite have a wizard mode, because the thing that would have qualified as a wizard mode carries over between plays, and it was never meant to be earned during a single gameplay. It was meant to encourage people to jam more quarters into the machine because it was lit up and pregnant and ready to go. So, of course, that's now my new goal, because spelling out Ransom awards a 30-second multi-ball with a ball save, which is almost exactly what the wizard mode on some other tables do. I have a name for it. I call it a prize tour wizard mode because the only goal is to collect jackpots. But since Ransom is a perpetual mechanic and not an actual goal for a single game, it doesn't quite qualify as a wizard mode, and that's very painful because wizards and warriors go together like pinball and flippers. Missed opportunity. The layout of this table does all of the heavy lifting here. The table can punish you severely for bad shots, but that just makes it feel so much better when you hit those lanes perfectly. I feel like this table really maximizes the use of the playfield with its two-level design, which leads to a smaller, more compact bottom playfield requiring fast reflexes, because making your shots on this playfield can be just as dangerous as missing them. The horseshoe ramp in the center of the table is a fast and dangerous loop that can shoot the ball bouncing all around the playfield, often shooting out the ball so fast that it hits several of the drop targets that spell out night on a rebound. Fully spelling out night will award a letter of black when completed, and this might even be the best way to hit those drop targets, because aiming for them directly can be incredibly dangerous because of the rebound. The closest thing to a safe shot on the lower playfield is the Skyway, but there is a dangerous post sitting right there too. But this is not the killer that the post on the other side of the playfield between the lightning wheel lane and what I'm going to call the challenge lane is. This post will often kick the ball straight back between the flippers if you catch it instead of one of the lanes, and it's also pretty terrifying anytime the ball winds up in the slingshots. But I have also found that I can sometimes use the slingshots to my advantage, and there might be some really interesting non-traditional shots on the lower playfield using those slingshots and the horseshoe orbit in combination with dead flips or holding the flippers open to see where the ball will rebound. I really feel like this is the table where if I start getting inventive with my shots, I will be able to find safer ways to spell out night, and if I can figure out how to hit the drop targets with less momentum on a bank shot, which might not be an immediate obvious shot, it might be a hell of a lot safer. That tight lower playfield may open up some very interesting rebound opportunities, and I'm also trying to figure out that reliable shot that will send the ball back to the in-lane rollover without risking hitting the outlanes. That's the key to starting the 2-ball multi-ball, and you can rack up millions of points and spell out night fairly safely if you can reliably hit that 2-ball multi-ball. The Skyway ramp and the lightning wheel vertical upper kicker both lead to the upper playfield in different ways, with the lightning wheel shooting the ball towards the lower playfield habit trail, but there is a randomness to this return that often lets you catch the ball with a swing of the upper flipper, allowing you an opportunity to hit one of the targets on the upper playfield. The Skyway is a much more reliable route to the upper flipper, and there are several possible outcomes from hitting this ramp as well. There is a hidden sinkhole that will catch a weak shot and award a lightning wheel prize. And there are 3 rollovers at the top that the ball might land on, leading to the pop bumpers, or the ball might even continue all the way around the loop, setting up a nice shot on the upper flipper, which itself has access to 5 separate shots. First, there's the Skyway loop that sends the ball zooming back around to the upper flipper again, allowing for a combo loop that can reward a chance at an extra ball. And to me, that's because the theme of this table is skill and speed, so even if you're good enough to hit the loop twice in a row, you then need to intentionally let the ball drain down to the lower playfield and then shoot it back up the Skyway ramp immediately on a very, very tight timer. The same is true of the War rollovers above the lower playfield habit trail. Lighting up War starts a hurry up for the Skyway ramp, but when you light up a letter of War, it means you're probably on your way down to the lower playfield already, so you are already getting set up for the hurry up shot that is going to follow. There is also some strategy at play here, because once you have 2 letters of War lit up, if you start the 2-ball multi-ball, all you have to do is light 1 more letter for a very easy 1,000,000 points. There are also 3 drawbridge targets on the upper playfield, and this is technically the main goal of the table, because hitting all 3 targets will lower the drawbridge and will allow you to lock balls for the stand up and fight 3-ball multi-ball, where the goal is to send the balls back up the skyway and then back into the ball lock for a 1,000,000-point jackpot. The stand up and fight ball lock also has another little secret. Those 3 upper rollovers spell out win, and lighting them up will start a timer to shoot the ball into the ball lock behind the drawbridge, which will reward a letter of ransom. And spelling out ransom will start a special multi-ball prize tour for 30 seconds, complete with ball save. And if you can spell out ransom in a single game and want to call it a wizard mode, I don't think anybody is going to be able to argue with you, because it seems like the ultimate challenge on the table, and you would be a total badass if you can do that. Like, it would be seriously impressive. This was only supposed to be a first impressions video, but I'm really just a flipper description away from a full-on review and guide, so I'm just going to finish it out now. At the bottom of the table, you have the standard 2-flipper layout, which is flanked by slingshots in the usual place, and each side has an in lane with rollovers that will activate the challenge sinkhole lane on a tight timer, of course, which will start a 2-ball multi-ball, which will award 1,000,000 points if you manage to spell out war in the middle upper playfield rollovers. And the left out lane is equipped with a kickback that can sometimes screw you over by rebounding straight down the middle, so have fun. And the right out lane is equipped with a magna save, which has to be manually engaged using the ball launch button. And both the kickback and magna save can be refreshed with a lightning wheel award, which can also result in an extra ball or a hurry up, and it can even drop the drawbridge for you. There is a very situational ball save feature where draining in one of the out lanes while you have locked balls in the stand up and fight ball lock will instead release those locked balls and allow you to keep playing. So, what do I think about Black Knight 2000?
You know how long I've been waiting for this? Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
Yeah, that about sums it up nicely. I was worried about playing Black Knight 2000. It is an older table, and some of the older tables I just don't really enjoy too much, like Whirlwind and Funhouse and Swords of Fury. These are fine tables, but I'm just not in love with the shot flow, and I don't think I've actually found the rhythm on these tables yet, and I tend to struggle with them because of that. And it's also a table made prior to the advent of the wizard mode, and I love wizard modes and complex rule sets. Just give me a series of hoops to jump through, and I'm pretty happy as a gamer. But also, as a gamer, I know that a simple rule set with a great game design like Balatro can be way more satisfying than a $100 million AAA production. And the Black Knight 2000 is exactly that. It's the Balatro of pinball tables, and I think I might even like it more than Medieval Madness. Crazy. Black Knight 2000 will fight you for every point as you struggle to keep the ball in play on the fast and chaotic lower playfield, and the table will test your reflexes as you try to combo skyway loop shots, which I've recently found out is the very first ever combo shot in the history of pinball. And if there is something I love in pinball, it's a really satisfying repeatable combo loop. I feel like this table breaks players' brains a little bit because they treat the upper and lower playfields as two separate tables, and I have heard this is a table you can play with one flipper, and those are just complete misconceptions that are probably holding these players back. The upper and the lower playfields are deeply intertwined. On the upper playfield, you're shooting loops and aiming for targets to open the ball lock and trying to light the letters of war, which you can only do by returning to the lower playfield. War starts a hurry up, but an observant player might have noticed that the seemingly useless horseshoe loop isn't just there for combos. Some combination of loops and interlane rollovers opens the challenge multi-ball lock. So if you light 2 letters of war and then use the lower loop to engage the multi-ball lock, you can very easily get 1,000,000 points because the first ball is released straight into the upper playfield, and all you have to do is hit 1 more rollover. So the left flipper is absolutely essential to farming millions of points from spelling out war instead of settling for the hurry up reward from just using the right flipper. The left flipper is also used to capture and cradle during multi-ball so that you're free to use that right flipper. I also feel like there might be a lot of versatility in that lower loop, and I plan on experimenting with it to see how it rebounds from dead flips and raised flippers because both ends of the loop are easily accessible by either flipper, and they might be the key to safely spelling out night. And in a way, it already is the key to safely spelling out night because the loops seem to be involved in lighting the challenge multi-ball lock, and nothing's safer than shooting at risky targets while you have a second ball cradle. There is an upper playfield and a lower playfield, but they are just extensions of the same table, and if you're under the illusion that all of the good shots are on the right flipper or the upper playfield, then you're missing out on millions and millions of points. Steve Ritchie is all about speed, and his literal nickname is the Master of Flow, which is why this table has that awesome Skyway loop combo shot, and the next table currently available in the Williams collection that he designed is the Getaway High Speed 2, which is also a totally badass table. And if you weren't aware, he's not only the voice of the Black Knight, he's also Shao Kahn in Mortal Kombat, and if that weren't enough, he also made the Star Trek The Next Generation table, which is also a total bastard of a table that I am absolutely in love with. And it's home to the absurdly difficult Picard maneuver combo shot. Black Knight 2000 for me is an absolute joy to play. I'm getting crazy good at it already, and I have a lot more to explore on this table, like trying to figure out if the challenge multi-ball lock that stays active during multi-ball and will capture a ball actually does anything at all. It seems like it's kind of useless, and maybe it's just to get one of the balls out of the way for a couple of seconds, but that seems like a waste of a potential jackpot mechanic, so I'm wondering if it's another way to light a letter of ransom or do something like that. I think this is a much better table than people are giving it credit for, and understanding the shot flow might just get them to say, "Oh, now I get it." Oh, and another great reason to play that lower playfield is that lighting night relights MagnaSave and Kickback, which are 2 things you are desperately going to need on this table. After 35 years, the same table that turned me away from pinball when I was 10 years old may very well wind up being my absolute favorite table. And after not touching it for 3.5 decades, I found out I'm good enough to achieve platinum status in the launch event that I believe might reward me with a Black Knight 2000 statue to display in my showroom as a trophy.
Of a hard-won victory, a testament to my triumph in this long-postponed grudge match.
I really was not planning on making a full review and guide for Black Knight 2000, and you will hear me say exactly that at the beginning of the footage that convinced me that I am actually fully qualified to talk about this table, and that's because of some names that pop up on the screen as I was rising in the ranks during the tournament. I know I've seen P-dubs talk about pinball before, and when I was just starting out, I was watching Pinball Wizard 35B's videos to try to figure out how to achieve wizard modes. And then later I joined him during his live streams, and then he knows who I am because he's joined me during my live streams. It's really exciting to place above him in a tournament, even if I'm pretty sure he's going to come back and kick my ass. Hell, at the beginning of this video, during that whole training montage, I mentioned the Silver Samurai who mentored me while I was just starting out making pinball content, and he was right there in the audience watching when I played this tournament game, but it wasn't until his name showed up on screen that I really realized just how good I was actually playing in this event with its limited plays. I somehow managed to beat his high score, and while I fully expect him to pull ahead of me before the event ends, that was the moment that convinced me I should just go ahead and make a full-on guide. I was actually responding to him asking me when the Black Knight 2000 guide is coming out when my game started. To put into perspective just how good Nuclear Black is, he sent me a message immediately after stream that stated, "I told you it was an easy table," and attached to that message was a screenshot of him taking first place in the Banzai Run event. Yeah, that's the guy I managed to beat on the Black Knight 2000 table during the game I'm about to show you, so I felt like maybe there wasn't a point in waiting any longer to do a full-on review and guide. Boy, anyone who has been waiting for my Medieval Madness guide is going to be pissed. I think I've managed to put out guides for Princess Bride, Goat Simulator, Camp Bloodbrook, and now Black Knight 2000 while I have been dragging my feet on finishing the scripts for the Williams 1-pack tables, but I am working on a lot of projects, and those tables are going to be coming just as soon as I finish this one other tiny project I started where all I have to do is describe 100 video games for a wish list. So yeah, just a literal 100 games managed to cut in line, but it's a holiday thing, so you know, deadlines and all that. Plus I just want to talk about a bunch of really cool games that aren't pinball and some that actually are kind of pinball. I'm almost done with that script, so please be patient because the Williams Collection 1 guides are coming right after I finish that video, I hope. I honestly do plan on getting back to them. I am most of the way through Junkyard, and then I just have to describe the Getaway High Speed 2, and then I'm ready to produce those videos. However, I do stream pinball every Friday, which is where this footage is coming from, and I host a weekly 2-table tournament with Nuclear Black, who hosts the second table tournament and keeps his tournament schedules aligned with mine, so both tournaments can be live at the same time. I may have just ranked among some of the best players that I know of, but some of you out there might really be struggling the same way I used to when I played the Black Knight 2000, and I really hope this guide helps you understand the table and stand your ground so you too can defeat the Black Knight and become a champion.
You are champion.
I want to thank my viewers, subscribers, and my channel members, and huge thanks to all of you individuals who have sponsored my channels with your donations and memberships so I could afford to pick up all the fantastic tables in Pinball FX. I don't have any, corporate type sponsorships, so your support has been essential to my channel growth. And as I write this, I'm only 20 subscribers away from hitting 1,000 subscribers, which is when I can apply to start collecting revenue from the ads and view time that play during my videos, which will be a victory equal to beating the Black Knight. And I can't thank you enough for sticking by me while my channel has been growing. I'm making a list, I'm checking it twice, it's filled with games that are really quite nice. So until I finish my list of 100 video games you might want to wish list for Christmas, I need to figure out, like, a full review is, like, a first impressions is one thing. Full review, I have to actually know how to take it, which I don't feel like I'm there yet. Oh right, this is a tournament. Alright, you're going to Jackbox. This'll probably be way faster than I'd like it to be.
I definitely have to at least get all the lights for black before I feel good enough to like make a full-on review. Hey, Zero! Alright. I might actually be able to up my score. Alright, got one under control. Didn't hit any letters. That's what I like to see. Whoa, baby! Don't be cruel. Got another opportunity. Got it. Damn it. Nice little 2 million though. Better than I usually do. Night. Oh. Tournament success. I was right to play. Smithy217, you just got your ass kicked. No extra ball for me.
You got the power. You got the might.
No way.
Get ready for battle.
Give me your money.
Hit it.
You can do it. You got the power. You got the might.
No way.
Get ready for battle.
Give me your money.
Beat the Black Knight.
Oh, I still had it. And the Magnus. That's okay. I still have another ball. I like my score in this tournament. Harley breakout. Suck my balls. There we go. Alright, so I kind of... Whoa! Now I look cool. Alright, can I do shit with this? Oh my god, they're all up there. I got an extra ball? What the hell is going on? This is going too good. Come on. Come on. Almost there. Okay, I can handle that. And there it goes. If I can still hit the jackpot. I mean, theoretically.
No way.
Get ready for battle.
Give me your money.
Beat the Black Knight.
Alright, hopefully I'm into platinum. Because... baby. Dookie again! I beat Dookie again! Playing with fire on that side.
World Champion.
I love this family. I'm still getting better at it. Can I match? No. Okay, that was freaking awesome. That is very close to my highest score, if not the highest score I've gotten. Dude, I'm ranked 13. Diamond. I think I just solidified Diamond. I don't know, but I feel like that's a really good score for the tournament. I've still got 3 attempts left. Oh, this feels good. I'm glad I said one more. Oh, right, you guys wanted to play Jackbox.
The Black Knight 2000.